minute to get my YouTube link. Hey everybody, if you're joining us, we're just getting started here, going live, and I want to do a post. So we're live on X, YouTube, and I want to put a post on Blue Sky real quick.
Yeah, where's the share button? Oh, there it is. Wait, no, that's the guest one. Where's the actual?
No, you have to go to your YouTube and then get the link from there.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So then, because I've been having issues.
I wish they would just give it to us ahead of time.
Wait, I am so sorry, people. Okay, here.
There we go.
I can't get my link. That's weird. Oh, here. Okay.
Got it? Okay.
I got it. 1 second. And I will post on Blue Sky and then we'll get started. Sorry, guys. Thanks for bearing with me.
It's really annoying that we have to be in so many different windows. Why even?
It is kind of nuts. But we do have some fun stuff to talk about tonight. Well, some crazy stuff, maybe not fun.
I was going to say, I guess if we're sadists.
Wait, this isn't right.
They are.
If I'd known we were going to show up like this, I would have put makeup on in my camera.
Let me see. I had a problem.
I know I should have done some blurring, probably.
Russell Vought. My goodness.
Yeah, so the Courier did a really good. So they were one of the first ones to post early in the morning about the Vanity Fair article, and I saw it and I was like, I can make a video out of this. So I made a video, put some music to it, and posted it on my platform. So yeah, and it was good. I liked it. Here we go.
Okay, I tagged you. I tagged you on Threads, I think. We'll see. Time will tell. Right. Time will tell.
So, all right. So we're live, everybody. Going to chat about a few things tonight, but we have this. Let's talk about the Vanity Fair article first. So that took off really fast. These close-up photos.
Yeah.
And so the one I want to show you guys. What I really liked, which I don't think I can show it here because she'll talk through it. Nicole Wallace did a really good piece that I actually put into a video where she pretty much reads. So everyone was saying, "Oh, the article is out of context," right? And she pretty much reads a lot more than those quotes, like a lot more than the quotes than Courier put, and a lot of people put. Like a lot of people just put those like really hard-hitting quotes. And she actually read off a lot more. So it was in context. I mean, she didn't read the whole article, but she read a good part of it. And it's like, these are she actually said these things, so she can't really deny it. Did everybody get a chance to read the articles? I know a lot of people were complaining it was behind a paywall.
I didn't read it. I
saw it.
Clips from you.
No, I was just going to say, I read it. If you guys have Apple News or Apple News Plus, you can get a lot of these publications and read them through there for free, or it's part of your subscription. The thing is, they're not you can share them, but other people, the only people that can see them are other people that have Apple News. So like Washington Post, I don't subscribe to that. I subscribe to New York Times, but not the Post. Not Wall Street Journal, but you can read all those things through Apple News. It helps if you know that and then just put it into Apple News Plus.
I like it.
No, I'm not trying to advertise for them, but
no, I do everything at Apple.
This was fascinating. I am fascinated by this whole entire how it happened. I'm going to do a video on it. Like, I already filmed one. I haven't published it because I didn't have time to edit it. And then I was like, you know what? Actually, I think I want to start from the beginning, because how it even came about and comparing it to what other administrations have done and what it looks like, is the whole thing to me is just it fascinates me. I could spend hours just because it doesn't make sense initially, but then when you think about it more, it does. And also,
So how
the memes, I will live for memes. So the memes.
how bad do you think it is for the White House? Like they all rushed to what is her name? Susie. What was her name?
Wiles.
Wiles.
Yeah.
They all rushed to defend her, even though she was, these were like not good things that she said about them in this article. They all immediately rushed to defend her. But what do you think is really going on behind the scenes?
I mean, I think that's what they do. They close ranks and they unify. That's why they have been so successful, is because it does not matter if it is a steaming, filthy pile of shit. They'll stand behind it. If it's got a red hat and they call it Republican, they will support it. They'll show up and vote for it. And I think that it has been a very compelling strategy for them up to this point. That said, I'm sure behind the scenes conversations are being had. I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if it's like your grandparents or like your parents, the generation where people don't talk about bad things. They kind of just like move through it and pretend like it never happens. I wonder if they're those kind of people that just don't talk about controversial things or complicated things, or, if somebody's caught saying something on a hot mic, they all just sort of pretend like it never happened. I don't know, because it seems like in terms of their reputation, they've been able, nothing has stuck to him in a way that converts the cult members, right? Like the average person might be very displeased with it, and that's going to impact them at the polls, as we've seen in all of these elections, right? Like the moderate voters, moderate Republicans won't support that. So I think they're aware of that, and that's why they constantly are trying to do everything they can to prevent fair voting, to prevent probably voting from even happening, if you want to be honest. Like, if you want to be honest with ourselves, they're going to do everything that they can because they know they're going to lose in midterms. And I'll be not so surprised if Susie has to take retirement in probably 4 or 5 months, but they let it wait. They let it wait so that it doesn't look like animosity. It just looks like she had to go take a vacation.
I wonder if they're afraid of her. I mean,
she has a reputation for being tough, but beloved. Like she has a good reputation. She also gets a lot of credit for the Trump campaign, because her thing was let Trump be Trump. She wasn't trying to rein him in. And I think that's why he likes her so much, because during his first administration, he was getting reined in all the time. Oh, let's send a nuke into the into what was it, the hurricane. No, sir, you can't really do this. Nobody's holding him back now. And I think she really got that going. It's like, let Trump be Trump.
Yeah. I mean, she knows where the bodies are buried. People at this level, like someone like her, knows where the bodies are buried. Like she has the information. I don't know that she would ever use it to do anything with it, but she has it. So maybe that's
I just don't understand what she was thinking. Like she's like, it's out of context, but what did she expect to happen? Like, what did she said these things, and did she think, I don't know, was it a conversation? And apparently they have this all on recording. Like she can't really say like she didn't say them.
Don't you feel like they seem like that they're not going to ever be held accountable? And that's kind of what we've seen anyway, is that there's this, like, whether it's fear from getting sued or it's just they make them a lot of money, the media has been reluctant to, be super unfavorable to this administration. They haven't really faced much accountability. So is there anything, like, have they been living out like in this fanciful world where they can just say things like that and they think everyone's going to just print favorable remarks, or like, even if they're not favorable, they're not like really detrimental for them? I just wonder if they've been handled with kid gloves, or whatever we're calling this, the way that they've treated them in this disproportionately favorable way, as opposed to like other administrations where, we're talking about people who misspelled a word, like, or got really excited on a campaign trail. Like Howard Dean has a lot to say about this, right? Like it's like people have lost their careers for a fraction, like a tiny, tiny fraction of the things that this administration has done. And they've never really faced, other than the loss to Biden, which they claim is not legitimate. There's not been anything that they've had to worry about. So I wonder if it was like just the misplaced confidence of never really having people to your face, like a media outlet, not the major, like, more neutral ones that you would think like Vanity Fair is like more neutral, right? Like a Vogue or something, like that they wouldn't, obviously they're going to paint us in a favorable light. Like I can say what I want and they're going to be kind because everyone has. I don't know. Like it's this false sense of, it's the narcissism, y'all. It's the narcissism. That's what it is.
I also think they're so used to, or certainly Trump is, but I think a lot of them are so used to saying, for example, we all know the economy is tanking, but Trump is saying, oh, it's great. I mean, first he's saying, oh, it's a hoax. Well, that wasn't working. He said it so many times it wasn't working. But now he's saying, no, it really is good. It's the best economy ever. He always talks in these superlatives and he's always demanding that it's almost like a demand that you believe what he's saying. And I think he's done that with the media too. He sues them and they bend the knee, without even losing in court. They offer him millions of dollars. And so I think there's a certain amount of power with that. And the belief that you can control everything, but it's really slipping away from him. He's not the strong man anymore. And more and more you see on the cable news shows that, they're talking about his health. They're talking about what a crazy ass speech that was. So,
well, even that post he did about Reiner, that should have been all over the news.
I think that was one of the things that was like, okay, he really went too far this time.
Yeah, not on our local stations.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
it was on all the cable news, and then a lot of notable people commented on it. Like even people on the right commented on like, this is not okay. This is because also it's like, this is a decent man. This is a decent man, and also this is not really the time to do this. I mean, he wasn't even dead
horrible.
a day.
It's horrible.
It was horrible. What else we got here?
We got Russell Vought.
Well, yeah, he's something else. So this happened today. So the Kennedy Center board votes to rename the Kennedy Center Trump Kennedy Center. How y'all feel about that?
I don't think he can do that.
I mean, they're on the board. So isn't he the chair of the board now? So he inserted himself as chair of the board. Huh? Go ahead.
I saw it explained that it actually needs an act of Congress to do. So it's very similar to the Department of Defense, Department of War situation, where internally they can do it, but officially we still have the Department of Defense. And in the same way, officially it is still the Kennedy Center. So, but again, it is just a distraction and evidence of his narcissism.
So it's kind of like they're tricking him into believing it's changed, or they're letting him think it's changed.
Everything has been the emperor has no clothes, so it just seems like this is yet another one of those. Yes.
Okay. Well, let's watch this. So speaking of narcissism.
Left the South Lawn of the White House, and we noticed some very interesting changes that President Trump has made to the colonnade. He has now installed a presidential walk of fame. On it, he has photos of every single president. He has now added descriptions underneath every single presidential portrait. The descriptions under his predecessor, Joe Biden, read sleepy and crooked. He calls former President Barack Obama one of the most divisive figures in American history. And then as for former President Bill Clinton, he has a note under there that his wife Hillary lost to him in 2016. These are just some of the changes that the president has made here to the White House. We already know that he has completely demolished the East Wing to make room for that ballroom. He's also paved over the Rose Garden. There's now a concrete patio in its place.
Can we find what is written under Andrew Johnson? Because I think that's the most apropos.
That looks
I don't
so
know.
stupid.
I can't get over he's still putting the gold reliefs everywhere, like literally
The Hobby Lobby,
I mean,
spray painted. It's terrible.
And then supposedly he wrote a lot of this, which is also crazy. These have got to go. I mean, they've just got, like, day one, first 20 minutes, just rip this shit down, like, of the next administration. This is just...
He's destroyed our house.
He has. And it's the people's house. He does not have permission to remodel this shit. Like, I don't know what the hell's going on and why they're letting him do this. I mean, look, the Rose Garden is a parking lot.
No.
It's awful. It's awful.
I think you
did y'all see?
Go ahead. Sorry.
That's okay. Go ahead. I just want to say the picture that looked like a mall food court. It looks like a really bad outlet mall food court. It's so ugly. It's not even that it looks nice. It's bad. So it's like that wall right there. It's not just that it's terrible in terms of him being a bad, mean man. It's that it looks ugly. It's embarrassing. Like who looked at this from a design point of view and thought, let's put two kinds of gold next to each other? Like they don't even match. It's just an atrocity. It hurts my eyes.
I can't imagine any interior designer like putting their name on this. This is just...
It's like that picture in the Vanity Fair article was a Walmart photo. So like they're not sourcing this from what we would consider to be like what you would put in a White House. Let's put it that way. You might put it in your house, but you're not gonna put it in the White House.
You treat these things as Germany treated things from the 30s and 40s. You make sure that it's not wiped clean totally. You put it in its perspective, much like we've now done, we were doing with Confederate monuments, where you don't get rid of them completely, but you put them in the proper perspective of this was wrong and we don't ever want to do this again. And we can't forget that this happened, because this can never happen again.
I don't think this is good enough to be in a museum. It could be in the Ripley Believe It or Not museum, because not in a Smithsonian. Like, this is just...
That's so perfect,
I hear you, Chris, but this is like... this is awful.
It's like a nightmare.
It really is, Susan. It is.
It's like I can't imagine taking a high school class to a field trip to the White House. I mean...
But also think what else is coming. Like, this keeps... like, remember when he tore down the East Wing? At first, it was like, first he said, I'm not going to touch it. Then it was like, okay, they're taking down like the side of it, I guess, so that they can prepare to connect what does he call it? The ballroom. But then he completely tore it down. And we were all like, wait a second. And there's nothing there. Like, none of us expected that. And so, like, this colonnade bullshit, what's next? Oh, well, I guess he's planning to build the Arc de Triomphe in DC.
God, don't even get me started.
It's bad enough to see those banners he has hanging everywhere in DC with his picture on it.
Mm-hmm. It's really upsetting. It was bad. It was bad the first time it was bad the first time he took office. I remember I didn't want to go into the city ever because, it was just gross. Like, the whole air of it was gross. This is like, it's a punishment. It's just a punishment. There's no other way to say it. So depressing to live here in DC.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. I feel you.
Because it's one thing
Um,
before when he wasn't destroying monuments and buildings, right? But now the fact that he's trying to put his face on things, right? Like, it's not even like I can go into the city and pretend like, oh, Biden's still in office, you know? Like, his face is staring at me. I don't want it.
All right. So tomorrow they're supposed to release the Epstein files. So I saw this post today. I don't know if you guys know anything about it, but this is more about the Adderall, and it does. I kind of feel like he's been this way the entire time, but this is good. It says Trump snorted Adderall all through the day on Apprentice. He also ate Sudafed like candy, but at night and at parties, he switched to cocaine and high-end methamphetamine. The point is, he was always high. That hasn't changed.
This came out before the 2016 election, because this was where apparently there was footage of things that definitely should not have come out, that Mark Burnett kept from coming out. But I remember this guy from 2016 of stories of the Apprentice, because this was also part of the fact that when they first went in to scope out Trump Tower for The Apprentice, they realized that it was like a relic of the 1980s, and they had to essentially build sets at like a boardroom set, because it didn't actually exist. That was all part of,
and a lot of people thought that was
story.
a real boardroom. They thought it was real.
So I remember the Adderall specifically from a decade ago.
So I think that's pretty. So I saw this. This is a screenshot, and someone posted it this morning. I think it's very relevant after last night, after we saw his unhinged rant,
screaming at us.
We've talked about this so long. Anybody who's been on Adderall knows what happens when you take too much of it. And I think there have been many times where he's been overprescribed, or he is taking it recreationally, or I don't know, because that man's dosage isn't correct. Or he doesn't have.
It seems like more than that, though. Maybe it's a combination of that. And
it's for sure more than just that. That's not the only thing.
People are speculating that ketamine is one of them, or one of his substances.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
he kept sniffing too. He kept sniffing.
That's been the case for years. He does that. Especially when he's doing long speeches, you'll hear this. I think because the mic is so close, maybe you'll hear this deep breath, or through his nose. It's kind of.
I thought it had something to do with taking erectile dysfunction medication. Doesn't that do something for your nose?
I wouldn't know.
There's something to do with the. No, I'm not kidding. It has to do with there's a medication that impacts.
It's not supposed to work on your nose.
No,
Casey.
but it does something to the blood vessels, and it aggravates them, makes them itch. And so maybe it's Coke. Maybe it's just that. Maybe it's just the amphetamines, and I'm confusing my medications. But I swear it's something weird like that. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. Who's a doctor on this panel? We need a doctor.
You're out of luck, honey. No doctors here.
Oh my God. I just know it doesn't fix nose problems.
No, I think it causes them, is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying it's a side effect of a medication, that it causes the itching. And I can't remember. I swear I've read that somewhere, that it does something, it aggravates or enlarges something with the
well, I mean,
he's like a menopausal woman, basically. He's dealing with all of the weird.
My nose is totally fine. I don't have any trouble whatsoever. I'm doing okay.
I don't know. They're all on stuff there. It's we've heard all these reports that he's had doctors, it was a pharmacy giving out pills and stuff. So it doesn't surprise me. I will be interested. I hope it's written in my lifetime so I can know what the combination is, so I never do it, because it's obviously not working, whatever it is. And the fact that there's clearly a health issue underway. Was the AI picture last week before our live, or did we not? Was it after?
I thought it was last week, but I could be wrong.
It happened within the last week. What's time? I don't remember I don't remember when it got published, but that was part of why that was such a fascinating conversation, was because obviously there's been a lot of health issues that have been hidden from the public. This administration swore that they were going to be the most transparent administration of our lifetime, like, or ever, and they have ended up being the least transparent administration, and in fact one that has put forth a lot of lies to mislead the public. So that picture was interesting for that reason too, because it was either true and then it speaks to their covering up a major health issue that he has underway that's probably preventing him from doing his job impactfully, not that he ever did, but then also on top of that is the AI regulations. So that he is trying to ban states from regulating AI, but here's an example of a photo that's been maybe manufactured and nobody could really tell right away. And then, by the way, we're at the mercy of people who lie to our faces to know whether or not anything that comes out of the White House is true, right? So if a photo surfaces on the internet that a journalist takes and claims that it's real, the administration can turn around and just call it AI. There's nothing there other than the person that took the photo, right? Like, we don't.
I'm fairly certain that this photo has been doctored. I don't remember Trump ever performing with Bugs Bunny.
That's
so right. I'm not an expert in photography, but I feel as though this may have been doctored.
It's a good supposition. I think it's a good.
Thank you. I've really tried to hone my skills of late.
I can't believe we live in these times. Like, I think I say this every day. I saw that the not to flip subjects, but it's kind of all related. So I saw that the Academy of Pediatrics, American Academy of Pediatrics, had been defunded because they had been critical of RFK Jr. And that's, that they keep defunding agencies that are legitimate agencies. And now we're having to look to those places, when it comes to like vaccine schedules and things like that, because we can't trust this administration. So this is really just, like Susan said, a nightmare. It's a nightmare. And I said the other day, I'm like, no one's going to convince me that we all didn't die and we've gone to hell and this is us in hell. This is what we're doing every day. But the amount of disinformation, the amount of misinformation, the amount of fuckery that comes out of this White House, of this administration, of this Congress, like I've never seen anything like it in my lifetime. And I don't, like, at this point we're kind of so saturated in it that it's our norm. And so that's why everybody's tired, if you're wondering. That's why we're all exhausted, because I thought today was going to be slow. And then we had all this news about we're renaming the Kennedy Center. Oh, look, now we have to go check. Oh, he can't really technically rename it, like what Chris was saying. But it's like, we have to go find that information out, because this is the kind of stuff that other presidents would never have done. So not only do we have to deal with normal global issues and things that are tragedies or like just your typical stuff that happens in the world, we also have to deal with a president that's trying to subvert the laws, intentionally doing things, taking more power, like broadening his scope of powers. And we all have to try to fact check that and figure out what he can and can't do, what Congress is willing to stand up for, which is probably not much. It's a lot. And I, quite frankly, need a 6-month vacation. I don't know about anybody else, but.
No, I mean, Casey, you and I have been talking about the overload, and people are just done. And so I think the timing is good that we're about to go in the holidays. I am certainly looking forward to like a lot of nothingness. Yeah. I'm not even in much of a celebration mood. I just don't want to be rushed. I don't want to commute. I don't want to
not doing anything.
Yeah, exactly. And if
I haven't even put up the lights on my tree. I was supposed to finish that last night and I didn't do that.
I've got my lights on and that's it.
I have a fake tree. The
fake tree has been up for weeks. We do have one of those, and the kids' fake tree is up. But I like putting up my tree. I take a night to myself, and I put on a Christmas movie, and I do the tree by myself, and it's my tree, and nobody gets to mess with it. They get their own, but this is mine. This just shows you how like bad it is this year, because normally it's one of the first things I want to do. And now I've just been like, I just don't want to do it until I'm in the mood to do it. And it's like, I'm never in the mood to do it because everything's terrible every day. I mean, I'll get there. I'm just saying, I'm like, I just need him to shut up for a few weeks. If that hospital rumor is true, maybe.
Oh,
I know. I looked earlier. I didn't see anything on X, but who knows?
I didn't.
I'm
yeah.
today I think I had a really hard time with them not voting on the Affordable Care Act.
Oh, yes. There you go.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about that too.
I just had a hard time with that. So much anger.
I mean, because Mike Johnson's like, first of all, the fact that we had a couple Republicans come to their senses and say, yeah, we'll sign the discharge position. Let's bring this bitch up for a vote. And Mike Johnson's like, no, we're going to go. Bye. Like, what do you mean? Like,
yeah.
Oh, like the entitlement and the disregard for any type of democratic, like, proceed, like, not. I don't even want to hear it. If you're a Trump supporter and you're like, this isn't a democracy, bitch, go look up what a republic is. I'm done explaining it. I've done it so many times. I've done so many videos. Like, you can Google it and see. Like, an indirect democracy is a thing. And the concept of democracy is what our government is based on. So Mike Johnson just being like, I see that there's a majority of people who want to vote on this, but I'm going to go take a vacation is crazy work. Like, it just is. I'm mad too.
Yeah. Yeah, I was, and Chris, by the way, your graphics were very helpful today.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I missed that. Sorry. I haven't linked up my Signal with my new phone still. And so I can't connect it to Blue Sky. It's kind of a nightmare for me too. I have a lot of things to do. But anyway, I missed your graphics. I'll go look at them later.
There's one, I think.
Yeah.
We talked about pre-existing conditions being, like for me, I'm screwed because my rates are going up like drastically. We're going to be paying $3,000 a month. But I think the bigger thing, like, I feel like that ship has sailed. I honestly feel like even if they had voted to extend it, it wouldn't have hit anytime soon. Extend the tax subsidies. The bigger thing, I think, is saving the pre-existing conditions protections in the ACA. And so that's what this graphic is about.
Yeah, I feel like that's not understood by enough people. And again, I see why, because there's so much going on. And I also see that there's still this tendency to believe that government is designed to help you. Like, that even though it's not always good and even though it's not always fair, like, ultimately it is there. That's the whole point. It's a social contract theory, right? Like, you're signing off some of your freedoms and liberties so that you can be a part of this community that's going to keep you safe. And normally that's true, like, even with Republican administrations, but this one is not. And so this idea that insurance companies, which are, it's like, they're not for you ever, right? Like, they're not ever going to protect you. That's not their purpose. So they're out there trying to make a profit, and they're predatory that way. And so this concept of pre-existing conditions and like needing protections, the only one that's going to do that is the government. The companies are never going to look out for you that way. So it's the government's responsibility to come in here and negotiate on our behalf so that we can have affordable health insurance, so that women who have had babies can have affordable health insurance, so people who have asthma can have affordable health insurance. All of these pre-existing conditions, basically, if you've had any kind of medical issue in your life that might occur again, or hey, not even that, maybe not even, because you have lifetime limits as well, right? Like, they have lifetime limits on the amount of coverage that you get. So if you have a long hospital stay for something, you're already halfway there to your lifetime limits. So to me, I feel like a lot of people just hear, oh, the exchange, well, I don't buy my insurance there. And so they think that that's the only thing that this bill does. And that's not. There's so many other things. And I think it's intentional that that's not talked about a lot, because especially this administration, they don't want people talking about it. They don't want people knowing that there's, a way to protect you as an individual and make sure that you get affordable health insurance. And that, by the way, it's reasonable that you should get that. We're the only country that doesn't even provide health care. Like,
here's the thing. We're trying to reinvent the wheel, but really what we need to do is copy what most, or if not every other Western country does. They provide a single payer option. They provide health care for their citizens. And we're acting like it's really the Republicans, but even the Democrats, like, honestly, I've said this before, we should never have had the ACA without a single payer option. You had to have a public option there.
100%.
We are finding people that aren't getting health care because they can't afford it, or health insurance because they can't afford it. Well, how can you find people unless you can guarantee health insurance is affordable? And it's not, especially now. And this is 100% on Republicans in the sense of they have been the ones that have made the ACA what it is today by weakening it, by taking away, well, they would like to take away the protections, the pre-existing conditions, and that would be, they would get reamed for it, but that's really, it's hanging on by a thread. And they've weakened so much with this healthcare plan.
Yeah, and I would say that even at the start of the ACA, the Democrats were limited by, and again, I talk about this all the time, but I'm going to say it one more time, the fickle ass voters who will vote for Republicans no matter damn what. Like, you can put forth a piling scheme of shit, they're going to vote for it, but the Democrats have to appeal to a much more heterogeneous, like, diverse population, and they can't do it. And so they never have the numbers confidently to step out and say, hey, I want to do something that kind of looks like socialism. It's not. Let me just explain. And they're too nervous. So they just always end up having to appeal to what the Republicans want to do to try to be more moderate, that's what they think is the better solution. And so whether we think that that's misguided or not, I have feelings about that, of course. But I just think it's like, this is, again, the pattern of the Democrats not having unity and not having reliable voters, whereas Republicans have had that historically. So they wanted what they wanted, and they've gotten more of what they wanted. And the little thing that we were managed, the little thing that was a big thing that we managed to carve out here with the ACA still got tainted by them in this way. And so now there's also this like displeasure with the concept of ACA, when in reality, if it's just fine-tuned a little bit, it can work for everyone. We do, like Chris said, we just need to copy what other, like, it's an equation that can be copied. The problem is that people are going to have to pay, not people, but the government and insurance companies. And those are the people that don't want to pay, right? The insurance companies don't want to have to lose out. The government doesn't want to lose out.
Well, with the Republicans' plan, they won't lose out, because I was reading Mike Johnson's concept of a plan, and it basically says that the employer will be able to shop at different places for healthcare to meet the needs of the employees, but they don't have to.
That's right.
Okay.
I mean, can't they do that now?
What that means is, if you have a baby born like my son was, they would come up to me and say, sorry, we can't employ you because you're making everyone's health insurance go up. And that's going to happen.
Yep.
And
I don't know. I think we might be forced into a public option when the rage gets so intense. When everybody, because I think a lot of people still, Casey, you and I were talking about this the other day. I don't think everyone realizes that even if you have employer health insurance, your rates are going to go up, because what's going to happen with the ACA tax credits expiring, people like me, like I buy my health insurance through the exchange because I'm self-employed. My rates going up from $1,700 a month, which is not reasonable in my opinion, but to $3,000 a month. Okay, that's a big jump. We're not doing that. But then you're going to have a lot of people like us opting out, and we'll get healthcare a different way. Opting out, a lot of people are going to have to drop their healthcare insurance because they cannot afford it. Then the employers' healthcare rates are going to go up too. So this is going to affect everybody.
Because the insurance companies are going to want their bag. And I was telling this to my husband because we were talking about budgets and budgeting for next year. And I told Chris this already. I was like, I was telling him how we needed to look on the horizon, because likely next year his insurance is going to go up next year, right? Like, or the year after or whatever, that we need to plan for that. And he was like, well, and he kind of like did the like, and then I explained what Chris just said, and he's like, "Oh, I never even like I didn't get that far. I didn't get that many steps ahead because he wasn't thinking." And I'm like, I don't think a lot of people are, because they're also being, everything's being thrown at people right now from so many different directions that if something doesn't immediately impact you, you're not necessarily looking ahead to see if it will. And so it's just like with the Medicaid and Medicare cuts. People are like, oh, that doesn't affect me because I'm not on them. But when you take away funding from people, you also take away funding from places like hospitals that then have to close, especially in these rural areas where they don't have a lot of access to healthcare in the first place. And so when you close a rural hospital, now someone has to wait 2 hours to get to a hospital where they could have gotten to one maybe in 30 or 45 minutes. That's a big difference, and people will die. And so that's where I think Chris is right, because eventually enough people will suffer and die that the outrage will come. But I think initially people are going to be mad and angry like they are now. And they're going to do exactly what Chris said. They're going to cancel their insurance. And so initially there'll be like this a lot of like outrage, and then it'll die down a little bit. And then eventually we'll hear it again, and it's going to be a big wave. But how many people have to die? How many people have to suffer in the meantime unnecessarily when we know this is an issue? Like when this can be addressed and should be addressed by Republicans, and they're choosing not to intentionally. I don't like, I'm like Susan. I don't have a lot of patience for this because they know exactly what the fuck they're doing and they don't care. And that's worse to me.
It's then you're going to have people with small children that are off of insurance. They don't have insurance for the kids, and their kid gets an earache and they have to go to the ER because they won't have doctors.
And that's already happening to a lot of people.
It's already happening.
To people who are on Medicaid. I know people in California and other states that have had to do this. And I remember having this conversation with them 6 months ago and being like, that cannot be right. That cannot, you're telling me that emergency clinics are not supported. We can't go to a walk-in. We can't go to CVS. Right. Like if now they do sometimes, but they pay out of pocket. So if they didn't get paid in time, or they didn't have the extra money that month, they just couldn't do it. They have to go to the ER. And I'm like, so, and these are, you think about it. If you're a single parent and you've got 3 kids, you're not just taking the one child to the ER, you're taking all 3 of them.
All of them. Yeah.
So everybody's going. And now you're exposing everyone to additional illnesses. It's not safe. It's not safe or humane. It's wild already that we're doing this. So the fact that they could just take a vote and extend it to just give us more time, at least to have some of it addressed, is just like the bare minimum. And they refused to do that. And not only did they just not take the vote, like the fact that there was enough Republicans willing to have the vote was significant. And then they just ignored that is huge, like a big fuck you to me. Like that's, or to everybody. I mean, to me,
and we're getting measles back. So if you throw that into the mix, that's going to be really helpful.
Yeah. Measles. I mean, that's terrifying. Honestly, I don't think it could happen at a worse time. You're going into the holidays. I mean, it's one flight away, and measles is the most contagious disease on the planet.
It's like they thought, let's bring back the government and fascism. Let's also bring back the diseases of 1930s. Like, it's not like what a great time to be alive.
Well, so now guys, that we have about AI.
Measles. I was just going to say, I posted about measles a couple of days ago when we were learning about this outbreak in South Carolina. But the thing is, people in my replies on X were like, great, I'm glad this is happening. Like there are people that legit believe in herd immunity, thinning the herd, like just all kinds of wild stuff that's just really hard to digest. Like I have to step away from that shit. I wanted to mention since we talked about ERs though, I think it's important to point out that that's the most expensive kind of healthcare that you can get.
Yes.
You can't shop for rates. If you're going to the emergency room, it is what it is. And it's also the most profitable part of a hospital. Mm-hmm. There's something wrong with that. Like that combination is not okay.
And that will get passed on to everyone else.
Everybody else. It makes everything else more expensive. So, So you guys so this is people are saying Epstein Eve.
Did you see some of the new pictures? You got the new pictures.
Yeah, so that's one of them with Bill Gates. A lot of people, this one in particular, a lot of people commented on, like, this is not a girl that wants to, or a woman, I'm saying girl because I'm not sure, but that wants to be in this photo. She is not warm on Bill Gates. Bill Gates is smiling, whatever. You could definitely tell she's tense. And a lot of people pointed that out right away because I had posted that this morning, and that was a lot of people commented like, A lot of women were commenting like this.
You can
This
see the
is-
body
they're
language.
just
It's
very
not.
uncomfortable.
It's not nice body language. That's not.
No.
Yeah.
There are so
No.
many of these that were situations where the girls were told that they're going to a modeling shoot. And then they get there and then they realize that that's not what's happening at all. So that
Nice.
totally fits with a lot of these photos where you're seeing them completely uncomfortable because they just found out that they're not at a photo shoot, they're at a party for rich creeps.
Yeah.
And also something I would like to point out as you see these pictures and all the others, okay, like something that I think we don't think about. We are not looking at pictures taken with a 2025 iPhone camera, okay? So just bear that in mind. Your camera might take, like maybe like somebody had said, oh, maybe she was moving. And I was like, yeah, my camera right now, a 2025 camera, might be able to take a picture of somebody moving and it won't be blurry and it'll look like we just posed there. But I don't think a camera in 2015 could do that, is what I'm saying. So just, and before.
And
like,
do we really need to
that.
give these people the benefit of the doubt at this point? Like, do they deserve that?
No.
No.
Like they can come, they are welcome to come out and explain. Like Bill Gates can come out and explain this photo. I mean, at this point, I'm like, and we've been saying this the entire time. Let it all fly, like, and let it all come out. We do not
Because of the
care if they're
Noam
Republicans
Chomsky.
or Democrats or whatever.
Yeah, people are upset
Right.
about Noam Chomsky. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't care. Who do you like anybody that much that you would cover up for them being like even
A
proxy?
pervert? No.
Yeah, like I mean, like so say they didn't participate. They still knew. Like, and my video that I talked about this with, and I have done many, but like the most recent one, I was like, look, we have a couple things here. Either he didn't know, in which case he's one of the most stupid people that we have ever seen, let alone the fact that he's running this country. He's no business doing that. Or he did know and he just let it keep happening. Like either of those are terrible and mean that you shouldn't be president. Like there's really nothing you can draw from this other than in some way, shape, or form, he supported this life, this Lolita Express. Like that's crazy work that people are still defending anybody in these pictures. Like
So
somebody did a TikTok on this and I wish I remember the name. I reposted it, so it's probably my repost. But the guy was like, it's weird how everybody doesn't know this guy, but they took a picture with him. Like he doesn't know, but no, I didn't know who he was. I took a picture. Why are you taking pictures with strangers all the time? Like, and he's with everybody though, is the thing. It's not just like you have this one random photo with you and Madonna. It's like he's with every notable politician, like, that wanted to be with him, basically. I don't know.
Well, here's this thing that's like important here though, with the video we have of the island, these two, well, I guess there was one photo dump, but they're piecing it out. You see the setting and you realize someone even pointed this out, there is no way you could be going to these places and not know what was going on. There's one photo in particular with Steve Bannon in Epstein's office, and there is a photo on his desk of a girl who they blocked out her face, but she was passed out on the sofa. He has a framed photo on his desk. So, you knew, these people knew.
Yeah.
Trump, my understanding is Trump is not in the grand jury case, which I guess revolved around one victim, but he's all throughout the Epstein files and they're not the same. And I think the administration is trying to conflate the two because they're like, oh, release the grand jury file or grand jury report. Come on, courts, release that. Because they know Trump's name is not in it.
So it's so vile because they're just trying to bypass accountability any way they can. And like when you think about what accountability means for these victims that are children, that are teens, young teens, babies, like they're like young people. That's what you're bypassing accountability for. Like, is there justice? That's crazy. I can't. This was disturbing.
Yeah, yes. I saw that was going back to that was the first image I saw. And apparently there's several, I don't know if you saw the other ones. There's several images with this like writing. I mean, I guess it's a tattoo, but they're all throughout her body. Like there's one on her back and her neck. And I mean, I'm assuming it's the same woman.
And part of what this requires, like the whole thing, like, the concept of grooming, I think, is difficult for a lot of people in older generations to understand, because it just wasn't talked about. Like, it wasn't something that was discussed. It wasn't like, it just, people weren't familiar with that notion. And so there's a lot of this talk of like, they wanted to be there, or like, look, she got a tattoo. She wanted that tattoo, right? Like that they were, first of all, that they were old enough to make those kind of choices. They're suggesting that, and that like those people were there willingly, so it couldn't be rape. And I like, this is part of growing up and evolving as a society, is understanding the problematic parts of that. And one of those things is like that grooming forces children into situations like this where they think it is normal because they've been told that it's normal, because they've been taught that it's normal, because they look at it as a way out or an opportunity. That's bad. Like that's not okay. And we really should be pushing back on all of these narratives. I mean, it's we do online, but I mean, there's subtle ways that people in leadership do this as well. And the media is not always great. They especially haven't been great recently at pushing back on this. So I think it's really important to keep pushing, to keep making that a part of the discussion, that even in the pictures where it looks like the people want to be there, there's a reason that they might want to look like that they want to be there in photographs, right? And grooming is a part of that. And that's like a significant part of what predators do. And while we may know that, and we may all have seen documentaries, or we watched To Catch a Predator enough or whatever, a lot of people, especially in older generations, didn't. So there's still a lot of apologists out there, which is awful.
I guess Susan hopped off. I didn't know she left. But so Susan, if you're listening, good night. But actually, I was going to mention her Congressman Suhas was so good on this. Like, he spoke, what was he? He was on Casey Hunt's show, and he said there are sex acts in these photos that obviously they have not released. So he says it's pretty disgusting. Okay, so do you guys think these are going to be released tomorrow or not?
I hope so. I want to get this all out. Let's get let's do it. Pull off the Band-Aid.
I think so, but I think they're going to be highly redacted.
Yeah.
If they're going to do it, this is the best time to do it. It's a Friday. It's right before Christmas. People are distracted. You normally want to dump stuff on a Friday anyway. So they're either going to do it tomorrow, or they're going to make some gigantic excuse tomorrow as to why they can't. And that will tell us that they're going to try to just not follow the law and just block this indefinitely. So we'll know either way.
Yeah, I think that you're right. It's a good time for things to get lost, over the holidays. It's a good time for people to, be busy and miss headlines, or to have an initial reaction, and forget about that because they're unwrapping presents and drinking eggnog and like whatever. So I think in terms of timing, I don't think the Republicans could get a better shot at this than now, but maybe they think they can. Maybe they think they can just not release it. I don't know.
I think this one's important that I put up. This came out a couple of days ago, I think. One of the women who has never before spoken publicly told the Times that Epstein coerced her into attending 4 parties at Mr. Epstein's home. Trump attended all 4, the women said. At 2 of them, she said Epstein directed her to have sex with other male guests. So I don't know. I think it's probably worse than we think. The actual files. And I think it's important to note too that everything that we're seeing, like all these photos, that's from the Epstein estate. So this isn't even in the files. These are the Epstein estate. So they're like here. As long as I think the condition was you have to protect the victims. You have to redact them. So I think out of an abundance of caution, the Democrats are blacking out women's faces that even some that have come forward because they just don't want to be, they want to be safe.
I think it's the right call.
Yeah.
And I just think when it comes to the DOJ files, I think we need to remind ourselves that, thousands of FBI agents spent hundreds of hours or thousands of hours going through the DOJ files, right? From what we understand from the reports that have come out.
Yeah.
So I'm not hopeful as far as, what comes out tomorrow. I feel like we're going to get either piecemeal or nothing.
I think piecemeal.
It's been very clear that this is Trump's FBI. Like this is Trump's FBI.
100%.
Department of, the Department of Justice, all of it. I do think it's worth mentioning that, some years ago, and I can't remember the victim's name, but she was the first one to come forward, and the FBI didn't give her the time of day. They, so many of these victims were blown off by authorities. So this is important for them to be heard and for these stories to come out. Obviously, didn't we hear there's like over 1,000 victims? I'm sure they don't all want to, they are choosing to be private. That's totally understandable, but there are several that are his voters even, that are, because he promised to expose all this. They're not walking away from this.
I've been heartened by listening to some lawyers explain that no, we cannot trust the FBI. However, it's not solely in the possession of the FBI. That there are other governments. Look at Great Britain and former Prince Andrew. There are lawyers out there. There are government officials out there. There are people outside the FBI that if the FBI comes out and says, okay, here's everything, that can call them on it and say, no, that's absolutely not everything, because I know that it's not everything because I have seen X, Y, and Z.
Great point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good. I hope they do speak up then, I think it takes a certain kind of bravery at that point if they're actually hiding things to come out. It's one thing to say it before it happens, but after it happens to actually be the one to come forward and say, no, this isn't, you're not releasing the files like you should be. So yeah, tomorrow's going to be interesting. One way or another, because if they don't release it, aren't they breaking the law? There's a court order.
Yes,
I'm just saying. Yeah, there's a court order.
Massey spoke on it today, saying that technically, Pam Bondi, if we are to win the 2026 elections, that there is no statute of limitations on this situation here, so she could be held accountable and charged. So fingers crossed. I don't think she cares, but yeah.
Why, with all the people who have seen this stuff, why just no one can just release it? Just no one can just nobody, not a single one.
I mean, they need to take care to make sure the victims are protected, but I don't know. It'll be, not to totally change the subject, but going into the new year, it'll be very interesting to see what's left of Trump's cabinet. Who leaves, who, and who he replaces with certain people, but who voluntarily leaves and who he, asked to step aside. There's a list of names already that people are thinking are going to be gone.
This isn't the first administration, though. The first administration had cabinet members in the beginning that were at least semi-competent, and they left because they saw how dysfunctional and horrible things were. That is not the case here. With the possible exception of Marco Rubio in terms of just his acumen, not what he's actually done, they are almost to a person not fit to be in that role. And so I don't know that you're going to have the same Rex Tillerson defection that you had in the first administration.
Yeah. I think I think that's true. I think it might be a totally different story after the midterms. If there is a blue wave and he's so, like people are already talking about him being a lame duck. He doesn't have the same power.
There's been
and then
distancing language from people.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's coming first. It's going to come first, I think, from, sitting members of Congress that are going to be terrified as we get closer to 2026 of losing their seat because of a man who's denying that there is an affordability problem. I think, and it's interesting that like I don't have a poll in front of me, but I think people's biggest concern is their pocketbook. There was a poll that Democrats, so in general, the poll was the economy was the number one concern, but when you broke it down, Democrats, their number one concern was democracy still, because we see we're fucked. So
my biggest concern is men and women's sports. I think something has to be done about that. I think I'm glad to hear Trump standing up for that. You have the
right president, Chris.
Definitely
have the right president.
When I'm really happy that in the Hunger Games, I mean the Patriot Games that are coming up, that he emphasized that there won't be men and women's sports. So
what's that about?
Are there copyright rules here on YouTube?
Yeah.
Why? Am I doing something wrong?
But not with music mostly.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think you're going to monetize this, so maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like they only just demonetize you. So.
Can you hear it?
No.
What are we trying?
Oh.
No. I can hear some music.
Are you playing Hunger Games?
I am. Horn of Plenty.
I will say that the internet comments have been glorious. Someone was like, can someone check on Suzanne Collins? It's like that crazy. Also,
I mean, she should get royalties for it.
For real. It's not a handbook. The Epstein thing connects back to this though, and I did not clock this, but somebody in my comment section on Instagram was like, well, no surprise that people that are into pedophilia like have chosen to make it about high schoolers. So it's like the participants are high school students, so they're underage likely, and that's what we're going to watch is high school students competing against each other. It's interesting.
May the odds be forever in their favor. Yeah, it's wild.
Bread and circuses. That's what we're getting.
Yep, and it's and I hate it. I also just saw that it just came out while we were on the live that is it Dugan? Is that how you say Judge Hannah Dugan? Is that how you say her last name? She's the judge that was being tried for obstruction of ICE agents.
Letting
grand jury found her guilty.
Great.
Which I hate so much.
Great.
You got to be kidding.
Sorry to break in with more bad news. But so she was found not guilty on the lesser offense of concealing an individual to prevent an arrest, which is a misdemeanor. She was found guilty on the felony charge of obstructing a proceeding, which is a felony.
Wonderful.
I hate it. Because this is like, I think I did a video on this. It was a while back. When was it?
This was her letting the gentleman go through a different door.
Yeah. So he was in her court for something to do with his immigration status, correct? Like, I thought, wasn't it? I can't remember. Doesn't matter. She basically was like, you can come through. Like, I don't know. Like, she probably did what you would normally do with people that just show up and demand something. I'd ask for warrants and shit too. Like, what do you mean? I don't know. At the time, it sounded like she was doing the right thing, but the grand jury didn't think so. Her attorney said, you're going to check on government overreach. Use your power to do justice in this case. You have the power to correct this unjust prosecution. It's your decision and justice is in your hands. So I don't know what the fuck is going on in Milwaukee, but you got it wrong. Like, I'm so sorry. I'm not going to apologize for this. Like, I am autistic as fuck. And I am very rule bound in a lot of ways. You've seen it before. But if you put me in a grand jury with somebody right now and it had anything to do with fighting back against this regime, I'd be like, I didn't see anything. Not guilty. Like, what do you mean? Like, the rules don't apply anymore. They're not following them. Why are we? I'm so mad about it.
Yeah.
I'm so mad about, like, why are we still pretending like this is normal? Why are we pretending like they're doing anything in our best interest? Why are we pretending like he's not trying to steal the whole damn thing? Like, this man tore down half of the White House, like a whole section of it with no one's permission at all. Like, just showed up with a backhoe and like knocked everything down. He's trying to rename the Kennedy Center. He's trying to put up monuments to himself. Like, why? Like, and these were his friends. These are the people that he was hanging out with. I went back and pulled the first video I think I did on Project 125. It looks like from my screenshots was 2023. 2020. We had knowledge of this in 2023, and we were talking about it. And people are still like, yeah, like it sucks, but what? But what? What do you mean? Like, why can't we all just unify against this? Why are there people in the middle that are like, oh, but no, this is a fascist regime. Like, their goal is to never have elections again, or to let you think that there are fair elections, but they won't be. Like, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. Like, there's all this evidence. They put it in a manual and they published it and put it on the internet, like, for you to see.
Yeah, Justice Warrior here with you. on the neurospicy.
Yeah, the
vibe.
justice sensitivity is.
I feel livid right now. I am so angry right now, and I think what gets to me is that we now have a judge who's found guilty. But what about all the shit they're doing that got her there? Right? The being masked. They have no warrants. They're disappearing people. There's right now a person, a U.S. citizen, who nobody, like, they just found her in Louisiana in some, one of the centers. I'm just so blown away by all of this. I don't understand why they're not being held accountable for that stuff, but folks trying to do the right thing are.
5 years in prison and a $250,000 fine.
You gotta be kidding me.
Is the maximum, and the judge did not set a sentencing date yet. But the fact that Brad Schimmel, the prosecutor, made the statement that this is not political, this is something that we felt was very serious that we had to pursue. I don't know that people really understand the extent of prosecutorial discretion. And the fact that prosecutors don't ever have to charge anybody with anything, that it's a choice. So the fact that they charged her was a choice that they made. That the fact that they charged her was absolutely making an example of her.
100%. 100%. And that is the problem. And this is why we see the media backing off. And we see people backing off at protests, is because they're like, well, I don't want to go to jail. Like, well, you know what? Like, you're about to have no freedoms at all. So, like,
yeah, we're there.
This is what I mean. Like, it's going to have to get, this is also part of the problem with, I'm just going to say, the white brigade, the Mayo tinted brethren of mine have a problem because they don't have a history of having to rise up against an oppressor. They've never been oppressed. That's the problem. We've never been oppressed. We don't have, women have, but like, you know what I'm saying? You're here. This is what it's like. It's time to act. It's time to do something, but like, they don't know what to do because they don't have a history of that. So it's just kind of, they're like, like, I guess at some point, like, it's going to be too late. This should really concern people. But starting to throw judges in jail is a real fucking problem. Like, I am not being hyperbolic. I am probably underreacting because I'm tired, to be honest. I could be more upset about this for you. I mean, I am on the inside. You're just not seeing it, but I do want to punch something. Because judges, that's like the last, that them and governors, That's what you got. That's your last line of defense.
All right. Well, we might have to do another live tomorrow, guys, if depending on how this Epstein thing goes, because if it's explosive.
I don't think it will be, because I agree with Michelle, but I think you're right that we need to we need to see.
Well, if it's anything, we'll hear. I kind of lean more to they're going to stall. There's some kind. I don't know what the path is, but they're not doing it tomorrow. But we'll see.
They're going to do it right before they do something else that's crazy.
If I were to put money on it, I would agree. I would say that they're going to find some reason that they're not going to comply.
Yeah.
Well, what does it matter? I mean, they're not following the law. Like, they're breaking it every time they, like, who's holding them accountable?
Who's going to hold them accountable? What's the worst that can happen?
A judge tells them not to do that, and then they just ignore the judge. They're the enforcers.
Throw that judge in prison for something.
I'm saying. But I get really mad.
That's the picture I was talking about earlier.
I keep seeing the picture or the videos of people that are in foreign countries saying, why don't you all understand that this is so bad? Like, and why aren't you making a plan to leave? And I'm like, well, do you know the millions of people that can't do that? Like, you can't just like up and leave and go to another country. First of all, you have to have money to do that. Second of all, you have to have an occupation to do that. Third of all, like, what about people who are disabled and can't go? Like, what do you mean? Like, so we're all just going to be like, yeah, I guess that's fine. If they want to be fascist, they can. See you later. What? Like, what do you mean? Like, this, I'm frustrated about that. So, the problem is that a lot of people haven't been touched by this stuff yet on a continual basis. They see headlines they don't like. It's frustrating, but they're not necessarily seeing the full impact of it. It's the same thing when it comes to the economy. I really thought the economy would fall faster. And so that would be the thing that sort of was the catalyst for getting people aggressively engaged. And I think it still might if we can get to midterms. I do think we'd see a pretty substantial pushback. And I think if Congress, if Democrats had enough numbers to pass legislation and then this administration started ignoring that, I do think people would start ignoring the administration. Like, I do think people would push back on that, but they need to have someone that looks like they're in control. Like, right. Like they need to have a Congress that's got the wheel or something. It can't just be the Trump administration controlling everything. It's not going to work. I think people need that election to happen first. And I think people need to see that there's an end in sight, and then they'll be willing to kind of flip. And then once you got a few people flipping, everybody's going to start pushing back, and then they'll lose control. But that's got to happen first. So I think we're going to see more of the Judge Hannah Duggan stories as it looks like more people are going to be willing to flip because the administration is going to do everything they can.
The more desperate they get, the scarier they will become.
I mean, that's what I put about his presidential address of lies, or some people called it the Pettysburg Address. Like, that's what I said was it looks like they're scrambling because they know that they've lost control. They know that people are not on their side anymore. And that looks like people that are desperate to try to corral the people, to convince the people, to distract the people. Because in the past, it's worked for them with their cult members, right? When they speak like that, it speaks to them, and those talking points, even if they're lies, they spread. They don't understand that because their countries are all close together. Yeah, that's so true. Sorry, I just saw a comment. That's 100% true. A video up that Pam can be held responsible, but he doesn't say how. It's weird to be on the same side as Thomas Massey. So, like, it's weird to wake up and be like, oh, I agree with that. Okay. Yeah. Well, what was the other thing I wanted to say? I feel like, did we hit all the things I texted you about? I don't remember. There was an unreasonable amount of things to talk about today.
Only thing that I can think of that we didn't talk about was was it the Patriot dividend or the war dividend or the warrior dividend?
The
warrior dividend.
The Patriot, they were calling it the Patriot.
The $1,776 that apparently every active duty.
Oh yeah, so now they have to pay
Patriot
taxes
bonus.
on money that they were going to get originally anyway that was going to be untaxed. God, they're so fucking stupid. So the money that was already earmarked by Congress that was done back in the summer that they were going to get anyway, that was going to be untaxed.
For housing. Housing.
Trump did something. I forget how he did this, but like he took it in such a way that they now have to pay taxes on it.
Well, and real quick too, I mean, I don't know how many folks are listening, but if you know anybody who is actually in the military and uses that money for housing, please check your bank accounts and make sure that you're covered and that you're actually paying your housing, because that is not a bonus. That is not a bonus. You're getting money that is supposed to go towards your housing.
Yeah.
So don't be fooled.
Your mortgage, whatever.
Don't be fooled. Yeah. I mean, I've spoken to somebody who's active and they're like, apparently they did see money in their account. It was labeled differently. But he's like, that money is going towards my rent. So
right.
Folks need to understand this is
$1,700, 76 cents and some change. Is that right?
They're trying to pull a magic trick, and it's a magic trick. So please beware and be careful.
It's
Check
crazy
your
that they're
account.
doing that to
Yeah.
the military. Like it's they're willing to sell
Is
out
it
their own
though?
military.
Is it though? Is it?
No, I mean
Is
it
it?
isn't. You're right. But I mean, like, the vileness and the anti-American, like, right? Like they come across, they want to be patriots. But they're doing the least patriotic things. And the people who are considered to be some of the most patriotic people, our military, the people who are willing to risk their lives to save this country, are the people who should be the last people that this administration would bamboozle. But in fact, they're the first. That's just awful. It's a special kind of terrible. It bothers me.
Do you want to touch on this DNC?
Oh yeah. What are y'all? Okay. Okay. Yeah.
That upsets me. And go ahead. Go ahead.
No. There's already a lot of conversation I saw on Threads, people getting into it about this. And I'm just gonna say that I wonder what's in it, because this is a real choice. And so
this is if you wanted to endear yourselves to Democratic voters that were disillusioned with the party and the DNC in particular, this is not the way to do it. This is doubling down on what you did with Hillary and Bernie and things of that nature, where you are fueling conspiracy theories of the DNC is this backroom cigar smoking, cabal. That's what this says.
And all the things that, by the way, they're pointing to the Trump administration and saying, look at how bad this is. And then the lack of transparency here, right?
I think the real reason is they don't want accountability, because if there was an autopsy report, we would hold them accountable. What have you changed? What have you learned from the autopsy? Like, we can't even ask that question. What did you learn? What did you do?
We know. And I saw somebody comment that the Mamdani election and the lack of support in general for him from the Democratic establishment tells you all you need to know. That the voters or the base of the Democratic Party want to go left, and they are just insistent on remaining center. And not center even, but establishment, and protecting their own power and their own money and their own resources, and not giving that up, not taking risks, not willing to actually do what needs to be done to make the country better, looking out for themselves as the old guard. That's what this says to me.
Yeah.
I think it's secret for a reason. They just don't want to. They're making a choice on what to ignore in that report.
And I mean, I think they're going to use the challenges right now that this country's facing, the lack of unity, the like the direness of the situation. They're going to use that as the reason that they're not doing this, like because they want to move forward and because they want to have like the unity. And I think that it's a miscalculation. That's like the nicest thing I can say about that. And that I think that if part of preventing what's happening right now is having that growth and having that maturity,
right,
and the bravery to be able to stand back and self-reflect and do all of the things that we're accusing the Republicans of not doing. Because that's what they have done, is enabled somebody that doesn't do any of those things. And it's, to me, frustrating because they also take sort of a patronizing tone about it. Like, well, you don't understand because, like, fuck off. Like, everybody in our life, for the most part, in your lifetime, has to have some sort of report card at a job, like somewhere where you have to go through and assess your performance, and you have to speak to that. And sometimes it's not great, and sometimes, you know what, it may not even be your fault, but you still have to, at the end of the day, show up at your office and account for it. And the fact that they've just decided that they're not going to do that publicly, as like a trust me bro in that kind of way, it's to me, it's very frustrating to the people who actually do have to do that and are, by the way, suffering the consequences of that. Like, I want to stress, like, it's not just like they lost some money in a poker tournament, right? The whole government is falling to fascism. So it's pretty fucking dire, and the stakes here are so high that there really needs to be this conversation, and it needs to be done in a way where we can have that growth and that evolution, but they're so afraid of the criticism they can't do it.
It also tells me that the official party platform is going to be not Trump, and not here's what we are offering as an alternative. Here's us being leaders. Here is what we have as a vision for the future and what we can offer. It's simply going to be, we're not Trump.
Yeah, watch them.
I mean, there's been no major change or even minor change as far as you can tell. So I don't think they learned anything from the report or anything that they plan on changing. And the DNC's biggest problem is they are not raising money right now. And that's a big thing for them.
And how is this going to help, right? How is this going to help them raise money if they're not?
No, because
honest
do you want to open your pocketbook for the DNC?
Not really, no.
They're still in the old mindset that if they pretend like there's no weakness, then they're going to do better. And we've talked about this with David on our calls before, and it's like an old mindset where they're afraid to be vulnerable. They're afraid to share stuff because they've been punished before at the polls, but they haven't been punished for this. Like, that's the thing. It's like they're so afraid of losing traction, of losing they posture themselves. But what have we learned from voters? That part of why they liked Trump was that he wasn't a politician and he was relatable, right? Like, he was somebody that, seemed like a real person. So this idea that you're acting as if you can't fail, that's not real. That's not relatable. That's not like in the spirit of democracy either. So all of this to say that if they showed their mistakes and owned them and said, and now we're going to look forward to doing this, like, that is actually shows strength and bravery in a way that hiding doesn't. And also, that behavior is why you didn't get elected in the first place. So it's just, again, carrying that old mentality, that old, politics way of, like, you have to put this bravado out there. Like, we can't be honest about things, our weaknesses. It's just a very antiquated way of looking at things. And it's also shown not to promote evolution and growth. And it's crazy to me that we're still doing that in 2025. I have such a hard time understanding that. Sorry, that was my rant on that.
Yeah.
Okay, so that has been Thursday Night Live.
Can I share a really quick story?
Yeah.
We could leave on a good note.
Oh, please.
Well, I mean, it's not great, but it's kind of funny. So, you guys know me and my shenanigans. Okay, so today I had to go to the pharmacy and get insulin, and there was some issue with insurance, and so it's busy, right? There's like probably 15 people behind me. There's the pharmacy guy, the pharmacist, the 2 pharmacy techs. Everyone's helping everybody. And he's like, well, are you okay with paying out of pocket? I'm like, I have to, right? And he's like, well, I'm going to give you a coupon. And I said, do I get the Trump coupon, the 600% off? And I said it as loud as I possibly could. And he looked at me and he's like, no, man, we don't do refunds here. And the way he said it, I'm not kidding you. There was at least a dozen people just freaking hysterically laughing. Everyone got it. Everyone was like, yeah, no, that's not a thing. And the pharmacist was laughing. It was nice to know that I could make his day. He's like, just thank you. Thank you for that.
That's a really good point to end on, Michelle. And it is the reminder that there are absolutely more of us than them. I know that with every fiber of my being, that there are more people that hate what's going on right now and don't support it than there are that do, by miles. And so I think part of the problem is a lot of people have just written him off as like their crazy uncle. They're like, oh, he's ridiculous. And they don't really see it as a threat. So, I mean, but the good news to take away from all of that is that there are more people on our side, like that really do see this. Even if they don't communicate it, it may just be that they're checking out, they got to dissociate, like whatever. But at the end of the day, we have the numbers. We just have to figure out how to unify those numbers.
Right.
So.
All right. Well, that's a nice note to end on.
Thank
We
you,
will
guys.
work towards that.
We might see you tomorrow if there's a wild Epstein drop. Otherwise, we won't
on the next episode. Yeah,
because it's a holiday next week. So we'll all be taking
maybe
time.
we could plan on a weekend or something.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Sounds good. Let's do that.
We'll let y'all know. All right. Thanks, everybody.
All right.
Have a good night.
Good night,
bye,
everybody.
everyone. Happy holidays.